Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dreamers Life podcast. We are so thrilled you're here. Welcome back.
Thrilled.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. As you know, this is my co-conspirator and co-host, Anjanette.
Hi.
Also my wife, yes.
I just want everyone to realize that I'm wearing like my workout clothes. Like I look nice.
Yeah.
I've got the scarf here and everything. So if my workout shoes show, you'll just.
So what
you'll
you're
know.
saying is you are in tights, but you know it.
I'm half dressed. I have yoga.
Yeah.
No, it's not like
Thank
a COVID interview. Like I have
It's
pants
not
on.
that the crowd is not important to you. It's just that you just don't care.
No, I care this much.
You care enough to put on a
From the
scarf.
waist up.
There you go. Get your hair's did and your lipstick on. And
Yeah, I had a multifaceted day, and so this is it. But this would be the favorite part of my day.
We'll take whatever you can give us.
Okay,
I appreciate it. So
I digress.
Hey, friends, speaking of taking what you will give us, could you do us a quick favor right now? Could you pause, go to the little button where it says share, and copy the link to this podcast and send it to somebody you think might enjoy it. Do it now, as they would say on the radio. Do it today while you're still thinking about it.
Yes, now is good.
Now is the good time. So we appreciate it, and we love all the thumbs up, and we love all the likes and stuff, but we want to encourage other people to have the same conversation with us.
That's
right. We would love to have you help us with that. So share that link. Do it now while you're still thinking about it, and then we'll give you a second.
Yeah, go. I don't make it awkward.
I'll wait.
That's what I always say when it comes to teaching. I'll wait. Just stand there. I don't know why that always gets our attention. Not quickly, but.
Okay, we're believing.
we're good.
We're believing that you have done such a thing, and it means so
work.
much to us. And thank you.
Thanks.
So, how are things?
Well.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, they're good. We're working on a lot of new projects and ideas, which seems exciting, and there's a lot of legwork involved in it.
Always a lot of upfront stuff.
Yeah. So like my brain hurts a little bit.
You know, it's funny because it always, you have ideas. They seem simpler in the idea stage.
It was so true.
And so you're like, hey, let's, like in our case, let's take our Dreamers Live experience, let's take it to the schools.
Yeah,
so there's a middle school here in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, the center of the known universe. And so you think, okay, they would love for us to bring this here. It's going to help with self-esteem. It's going to help with communication skills.
Right.
It's going to help foster creativity.
That's
it's
right.
really going to do some great stuff.
It's going to be some good stuff for these middle school kids.
But it's not nearly as simple as just walking in there and doing that amazing the future of America.
I know,
you
exactly.
have to create clubs and go through channels and put things together and
get
describe
permission.
things.
It's so much work to volunteer.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we have about 4 or 5 things on that front.
Yeah, that I know that by this time, probably even next semester, will be easier. It's just right now we're working through all the details, but that's how it goes. Everybody thinks it's as easy as showing up, and it is certainly not. But it will be worth it. That's what we're hoping.
That's what we promised ourselves.
Yeah.
And we have successfully made it through what I believe is the beginning of the holiday season, which is Halloween.
Yeah.
And
yes.
How was your Halloween this year?
It was fun, actually. October was kind of a blur.
Yeah.
It went pretty fast, but do you remember when Evangeline was in middle school? If you were involved in middle school during October, there are 9 gajillion activities. And not only that, our daughter has always and still wants to go to everything. And so we live in a great community. So there's like
she looks at
walks
events
and trunk or treats.
She looks at events as you look at coupons. They must be met.
Yes.
They must be. You get a coupon.
It's here, so I have to go.
We have to.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you remember taking her I swear we would get done with the weekend. There's just like 13 trunk or treats or whatever. But so-and-so's going to kitty party.
And the way that this year worked is that Halloween happened to bump into her 13th birthday.
Yeah.
So the birthday party. So we literally did Halloween.
Yeah.
The next night we did
her birthday
13th birthday extravaganza.
Yeah.
And then we had planned to go to the OU game in Norman, which is about 3 hours away for us.
We surprised her. That was her.
And due to the tornado alley in which we live in, they bumped the game up.
Right.
So where we had planned on leaving somewhere casually around 9 the next morning for the game, no, we left at 6:30 in the a.m.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In rain and drove there,
and we did it without tears, and we did it without any breakdowns. accounts.
Well, there were a few tears, but you couldn't tell because of the rain.
Yes, that's
it was
true.
like on
That's
our
good.
face.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, it was a good time. But yeah, then you go right back into
Well,
the
then,
weeds.
and just to give you a little insight into the Oklahoma Tornado Alley experience. So we went to the game. We had a great
special.
time, saw some friends afterwards, got to our hotel, and then at about 11 o'clock,
Yeah.
both our phones went berserk.
They did.
And they started firing off sirens. And
that
all
wasn't
of a
just
sudden-
my mom texting.
No. And the phones alerted us
Yeah.
with an amazing amount of volume for such a small item that tornadoes were
Yeah.
upon us.
Yeah.
And then
We were in a
the
hotel.
sirens came
Yeah.
in like 60 seconds later. And so we actually took shelter
Yes.
in the bathtub
Yes, at the Residence
4
Inn.
times
We did.
between 1 o'clock and 2:30.
Yeah.
Based on sirens that were going off. There were emergency vehicles
crazy.
outside.
Yeah.
It looked like a Hollywood movie outside.
Yeah. Gratefully,
And,
everything was okay. But it is weird to not be in your own house during a tornado warning. Because, like, when you're in your house, you've kind of got
Yes.
you know where you're supposed to be, your safe spot. You kind of know the
Right.
protocol and everything. And this was just like
Well,
middle of the night at a hotel.
Evangeline handles it so well.
did
And I
handle
think
it well.
part of that is because when we've been home and because of the frequency in which we meet tornadoes in Oklahoma,
Yeah.
we have a safe place in our house,
Yeah.
a
So
shelter
you don't
place,
really
which is
worry
underneath some
too
stairs
much.
and it's,
Yeah.
barricaded in and all that kind of stuff. Well, since we've been in this house, she's taken such great joy
Yes.
in, in
Decorating it.
arranging, decorating,
Yes.
and getting all the staples into
Yes.
the shelter zone.
Yeah.
So
When
for her, it's
tornado
like making a
season
house.
hits, yeah. She's like, let's do it. We've got snacks. Let's put a game.
Yeah, and then it will
Electricity
stay set up for like 7 to 9 days after that
Right,
because
I
she wants to go
know.
back in and do that. So
Yeah. We didn't have time for any of that the other
I
night.
think there's a weird
She likes it.
Pavlovian enjoyment and excitement to tornado season for her because
Do you mean Pavlovian?
well, you say Pavlovian, I say Pavlovian. I don't know. Let's call the whole thing off. And so it's like for her, it just triggers all these happy
Yeah,
feelings.
it was really cute. She's like, "Oh, that's a tornado siren." She goes, "Guess we better get our pillows." And hey, Mom, better grab your shoes.
You
just
grab your
in case."
shoes and get your phones.
She
and
grabbed
all
a couple
that.
snacks, and
Yeah.
so anyway,
It
it
was
was
funny.
good. But it's been a whirlwind of things, and good. It's just what we do. A lot of what we do is development, and
Yes.
that's kind of the word of the work of coming up with
Yeah.
ideas and creating them. So I know it's going to be good. But yeah, it's nice to take a little break and have a conversation.
Well, and
What shall we discuss today?
well, of course, we are in the midst of the holiday season now because
Yes.
of Halloween, and I've been thinking about this phrase, this axiom of you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family.
Okay.
And I don't know if that has ever had more relevance than it happens to have in this most special time of the year, the holiday season.
Holidays.
Because
You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family.
yeah, and
Okay.
and you and I've joked about this. There's this thing about family.
Yeah.
And of course, we're blessed. We happen to have a really great family who happens to listen to the podcast. So
Yeah, they're so awesome.
they're
Every single
so
one of them.
amazing.
We love them.
I wouldn't
They love
trade
us.
a one of them.
No.
And
they would trade us. I mean, they would trade us.
but what's funny about family and that axiom is that with family, they bring out in so many ways the best of us, but also these character flaws, these challenges for us. So like, you may grow up and go into an industry and you will be heralded as a genius.
A genius.
And then you come home on Thanksgiving and you're still the last born who got sick on the way to Aunt Ruth's house when you were 12.
That's right. Same
You go
stories.
right back into that spot.
It's like the one time, it might have been a couple times, that your family's so cute when they go for the prayer. Like there's kind of hardly any warning.
Never
your,
warning.
Your
Yeah.
dad would just like call for the prayers, always in the bathroom. Like,
No.
and
Sometimes he wouldn't call. He would just start the
it.
prayer.
Yeah.
And you knew that you were supposed to be somewhere you're not. Right
Yeah,
now.
and it was like I
Panic was
didn't
set in.
love God because I was in the bathroom. Here's me. I'm just going to
Well,
want
that's
to wash
not,
my hands
that's not
before
why you
lunch.
don't love God.
But yeah, no, we get
Yeah.
no. Those become the shared stories.
Right.
Yeah, and you may be.
Well, and those stories stay with you,
Yeah.
and then you're always known as the kid that did X, Y, or
Yeah,
Z.
yeah,
Remember
for
that
sure.
one time when you got
You did
sick
it,
on the?
yeah.
Remember that one time when you peed your pants and that? Oh my God! Yeah.
It's hard to shake it.
But as we've gotten older, and I've confessed to you, what's funny about family is that a lot of times they will force you to confront some things that you would otherwise avoid.
Yeah.
Like I've got character flaws
Sure.
that are most pronounced around family.
Yeah.
And if anybody else brought out those character flaws, I would just simply not be with them. I would just not.
I
don't enjoy your company. You make me feel bad about myself. I don't want to do this. But we're kind of forced into these reoccurring connections with family.
Yeah, I think that's by design.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If we and what's funny is our families are saying the same thing about us. Like
Right.
there are
Oh,
just
yeah.
certain that I think with the people
You really push my buttons.
Yeah,
and
the
X, Y,
people
Z,
that you're closest to see the best of you and
Yes.
often the worst of us because
Yeah.
it's a more real picture because we
Right.
spend more time together or we're in stressful situations together.
Right.
You know. Yeah. So I think we all have that like weird cousin that. If you met them somewhere, you would be like, I do not want to see her again.
Nope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nope, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But then
You are really unpleasant.
They're always at your family activities.
So you're confronted with it.
So you're forced with. So how am I going to handle this? I can't get away from it. So
you have to grow in endurance.
Yeah, so-
Enduring with people, you have to grow in patience and kindness and respect. You don't have to do any of those things, but it is our opportunity when we're continually confronted with it. And when we have the same response or reaction to something, that's suggesting that there's something there that
in us,
needs to be dealt with.
You know, on a hopeful side of all that, we have like everyone has that one weird uncle too.
Yeah.
We have kind of a weird mean uncle, but I really feel like after about 30 years, we've really started to win him over.
Well, he's slipping into dementia, so that's helpful. He doesn't remember to be mean anymore.
He hasn't made fun of your earrings or your hair.
Right.
Or called you gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that in like a decade.
Right.
I mean, I'm a little disappointed. It's less fun.
Yeah.
You know, we get riled up and then no.
Yeah, but family will push those buttons or test that stuff for you like no really other group because I think probably because of their proximity, and and it's also as I like to joke. I mean, it's much harder to change the people who have seen you naked.
Yeah.
So whether that's your parents or your siblings or your spouse or that one weird neighbor, the people that you have the closest proximity to, those are the people that are hardest to change. It's much easier for me to forbear with people or to be kind or patient or even sometimes loving to people the further I get from home, the further I get from that, because those people don't play as a significant role in your life.
Right.
You're going to leave them eventually after you're done whatever you've done.
Right.
But with family, you're going to be confronted with your challenges the most.
Yeah, with yourself. Yeah, that's very true.
So, but it also brings me to this other part of that phrase or that axiom, which is that we can pick our friends.
Okay.
And so I was telling the story the other day about we had our daughter, obviously, 13 years ago last Tuesday.
Yeah.
And a year later, when she was 1 year old, you and I discovered that we had not yet achieved our pre-baby physiques. We were not back in pre-baby form yet.
You gained some courtesy weight. I gained some real weight.
I'm nothing but a giver.
Yeah.
And so we decided we needed to find exercise, and your cousin suggested you should try CrossFit, which was a new craze at the time. And so we said, okay, let's do that thing. So we go to CrossFit and sign up a contract for a couple months. And then I say to you, hey, let's do CrossFit for 2 or 3 months and then take our perfect bodies and everything we've learned about how to be in shape, and we'll just do it for free on our own after that.
Yeah, it was a good...
And it was a brilliant
and
plan.
economical idea, too. Yeah.
The problem was we met people when we got to CrossFit.
We did.
And we made friends with them.
Yeah.
And now, 12 years later, we're still there.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you can tell that we've been working out.
My body looks about the same, but I have made a lot of friends.
Well, we have all these things that we have these. Of course, there's the shared hardship of the workouts, and you're going through something difficult with somebody. But we found that we really genuinely like these people.
Yeah.
That we share a lot in common, and we do a lot of hanging out, and we even hang out outside of the gym with a number of them, and then we also like to throw parties at CrossFit, which is funny to do the workout and then have a beer. But, it works really.
9 a.m.
At 9 a.m.
Only on holidays. But, that's when our classes.
Well, that's why we chant wall ball shots, so it's a whole other thing. But no, and then I was walking out of the Halloween party that we had a couple weeks ago, and I thought, man, this group of people has become a tribe for us.
Yeah.
This is a group of people that we have this shared language with, we have shared stories and experiences with, and if we went missing for a week or two and didn't show up, someone would come looking for us or text us or call. They care about us, and we care about them, and they are a tribe for us. And it's obviously our first tribes are the tribes that we don't get to pick. We don't have a vote on being what country we're born into, or what state we live in, or what family we're born into. Though for us, we wear those things as a badge of honor. So to be an Oklahoman, that's a lot for us. And the families we're born into happen to be really great families. But we didn't choose any of those. These are tribes that we are at some level choosing to be a part of. Yeah. And they add so much to our lives. And I started thinking about all the little tribes that you and I are a part of. Some you're involved in. Some of those tribes are just friends, like a collection of it's usually like 4 or 5 people that you are just a pocket of friends. And you have some of those friend groups of which I'm not even a part of.
Oh, I have lots of them you're not even a part of.
Well, you're kind of a celebrity, so people want you in their tribe. You get tribe selected, tribe envy. I don't know what that is.
I think women tend to tribe up a little easier than men.
Oh,
you guys have
absolutely.
to be invited and coaxed.
Well, men are in tribes, but we just deny it. I don't know. I don't need them. And then you find yourself texting, several times a week.
Your little text tribe you have with your man friends, and you're like, well, we just text.
Well, they're all men, and I'm just a man wannabe, but it works out pretty well because they show me and help me with stuff. But,
they've helped with a lot of stuff around the house.
What's great about that tribe, and really even the CrossFit tribe, is even though we have shared things that pull us together. For the most part, we're also just dissimilar in just as many ways that we're similar.
Yeah,
my guy friends,
political viewpoints.
My guy friends are mostly rednecks at some level or another. Yeah. And they're real men. Yeah,
they are.
And
they shoot guns at animals.
And so there's a lot of political differences for us, maybe some economic differences for us. I'm sure some spiritual, theological differences for us. And yet, if I called one of them right now and said, I really need help with X, Y, or Z, they would show up.
Oh, yeah, they would. They want you to call them.
Yeah. And same, if and I would do the same for them, and we share that we have that stuff in common. So to be in a tribe with someone does not mean that you have to share all the same values, religions, political opinions, or whatever. In fact, I think it makes you a lot richer to be in a group where people don't agree about everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that's the danger, is when we're only in tribes that are exactly like us.
Yes.
We're never exposed to anything else, and our viewpoints and our beliefs and everything stay exactly the same and unchallenged. But what's interesting about, in particular, the CrossFit tribe, or a couple others in our life I can think of, is that because we connected beyond like the socioeconomic divides or political, spiritual, we connected on just living life.
Yes.
Just trying to stay healthy. We talk about kids and, the holidays, just being human. We've connected. So that connection really is based on loving each other, shared information, and connecting. So when you find out during an election season, that everybody it feels differently than you do, or a lot of people do, you have that choice then to say either, well, okay, that's it. We don't believe the same way, so we can't have this relationship. Right. Or you go with that higher love, which is based on, I really love that person, and we don't see it the same way. So maybe I have something to learn from this.
This has really, admittedly, been a more challenging season for that. I mean, an election was decided 51 to 49%. So there are, at the very least, there are 49% of other Americans voted for somebody other than the person you voted for.
Sure.
And
why did you look at me when you said that?
You know why. And and it wasn't like it was close because there wasn't a clear separation. There was a really stark difference between the candidates. Yeah. And so, that has been hard for us and a challenge for us. But I think maybe I've told this story before, but we had some friends who were involved in a big charitable organization, big charitable event. They asked if we could be a part of that too. We, of course, wanted to be a part of that. It was great. We went, and lots and lots of people from the community came out and were helped. And we were both just kind of overwhelmed. And it was just this
really
joyous
sweet, yes.
occasion of all these people pitching in to help other people who had less than them. And then all these people from the community feeling, in a sense, like their needs were being helped, but with such dignity that it was really a cool thing. And so we texted a number of our friends afterwards, and again, like I said, they are maybe on the polar opposite of what we are politically, and believe different things probably theologically than we do. And yet, before it was over, this friend of mine was saying, "I'm lucky to call you friend," and I was thinking, I'm grateful that politics didn't get in the way of us sharing this experience together and having this moment together. And that, especially in the last couple of weeks, has been so incredibly important to me, that we view each other as humans, and we have that. And in a way, like you said, the thing about being in a tribe with somebody that's different. If your tribe is only your small church group or your small family group where most people believe exactly the same way you do, you're not really being challenged in that way. And so as we say, that it limits the input or the impact in your lives, and at best it can be ancestral, in terms of information at worst.
Yeah, definitely.
But here we have this group, and this is the thing that we believe can help heal some of the divide. Keep the communication open, stop us from sliding down this hill further.
Yeah, for sure.
Tribe.
You and I were also talking about how certain tribes, I thought this was interesting. Sometimes certain tribes are just for a season of your life.
Yes.
Like I think about how involved I was at Evangelin's elementary school.
Oh, yeah.
And
right.
I just got to know the teachers and the people in parent support group, and we were really just a part of that tribe. And it was, really sweet. So much so that when she graduated to go to middle school, I couldn't drive past the elementary school without tearing up. I'm doing a little better now. This is her second year.
Yeah.
But I knew that's part of what was so sad about it, that as soon, just by virtue of the fact that time is limited, that when she moved to a different school, and that I would want to get involved there, and I wouldn't be able to be part of that tribe anymore. But there'll always be a connection of mine when I see those people. We shared 7 years of trying to make kids' lives better and helping in the community, and that's a meaningful tribe. But then when she moved to the next school, I thought to myself, okay. And I had to insert myself, because sometimes when you get to new places and tribes are already, have you ever had that situation? Tribes are already established. You have to politely say, I would like to be part of your group. And then you have to keep going to the meetings and saying, how can I help you? How can I be part of your group? And I feel like it took me almost a year to really connect to that new tribe. But I know how important that is for me. And also, because we do tend to want to make a difference where we are.
Well,
so I had to fight into that one a little bit.
You have, and you wouldn't say this, I will say this, but I'll say this about everybody. You have so much to offer and so much to contribute. It would be a loss for you to not be part of that tribe.
That's sweet.
And so and in a way, we have to view ourselves that way. We have to view our role that way. And we personally desperately need tribe, but but other people need us to be in their tribe. They need us, and they need our experience. They need our thoughts. They need our encouragement. There are tribes that are built around grief. There are tribes that are built around recovery. There are tribes that are built around shared experiences. Tribes that
built around volunteering. I love those.
All that stuff. And so
service.
So we have to be a part of that. And
so we can't let, if
insecurity
in that
or even a little bit of a standoff thing from an established tribe.
Oh, well, they apparently don't need me here.
That tribe's already established. I don't want to be part of it.
And so I was like, well, I'm politely going to make this work, and I have. And what do you think about? Have you had a time in your life where? I've had times in my life where I felt a bit lonely in areas, and I knew that no one was going to just magically come to me
Right.
and say, would you like to be in our tribe and just hang out and be
Yeah.
our friend? I knew
Yeah.
that it was on me to create
Well, you've been good
those
at
friendships.
You've been good at relating this part of our story for Dreamers Live, that 4 years ago when we started Dreamers, it was an online community.
Yeah.
Coming out of COVID.
Right.
And it was about getting together with other creatives.
Yeah. Online
For the
mostly.
purpose of encouraging each other.
That's
Let's
right.
create community. Let's
Yeah.
create a tribe.
Yeah.
It was about creating a community. We didn't know it would become a tribe.
Right.
But that was the result of it. So we wanted something. It didn't exist in our lives at that level. So we created that thing instead.
Yeah.
So now we are incredibly grateful to have this thing in our lives.
Sure.
So it's these reoccurring people now that we've been doing the face-to-face stuff, the
Yes.
group, in-person stuff for the last 3 years. And every time we get together, half or more of the crowd are reoccurring people
Yeah.
who are dreamers, who would identify with us as part of this tribe and this group, and they have become a tribe for us. So, and on the top of that, many of them have become their own tribe away from us.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they meet each other, and because that's a big priority for us and a
Sure.
big staple for us is to get people connected to each other.
Yeah.
So friendships have happened at Dreamers events and Dreamers Live events that are continuing and are completely independent of us and completely independent of Dreamers right anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I think one of the most important principles, just like there's a creative principle that we talk about, and somehow this really helped me. So they say, I heard this one time, it was like, when you're working on writing music or writing a book or coming up with an idea, they said, create the type of music that you'd want to listen
Right.
to. Write the type of book that you wish were out there. And so I think for us with Dreamers, and for me and you and other areas of our life, it was, what's the tribe you wish you had?
Mm-hmm.
What are those friends that you wish were there? And go find them.
Yeah.
And I think it takes having tribe is so important to survival, and not just surviving, but thriving. We're
Right.
surviving, we're thriving. This sounds like a 21 Pilot song. Anyway, but for thriving, we have to be
Yeah.
around people. But sometimes you have to, I think most times you have to do the work and take the risk
Sometimes you have to
get it
instigate.
going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your mom did this recently. I thought it was so cool. After your dad passed away early, earlier than expected. I mean, her whole retirement plans, just everything for her future,
Right.
shifted in one moment.
Right.
So just, missing your dad, of course, was a huge part of that, but it was sort of like, well, we were going to travel and we were going to do all these things, and now what do I do? And so
Right.
it's been, she's been really brave, and recently took a trip. I thought this was amazing.
Yeah.
She took a trip to, was it Poland? It was sort of like a pilgrimage. It was through
Right.
her church, but she didn't know anybody that was going, really. There were a
Right.
few acquaintances that she had met at church, a couple of ladies, but it wasn't like, hey, friends, let's all
Right.
go on this trip together.
Yeah.
And she signed up for an overseas trip to Poland to take this pilgrimage, and of course had the time of her life, and
Right.
came back with a new tribe.
And a new husband. I thought that was no. She didn't. Sorry, Mom. Just joking.
Hey, new dad. No, I'm totally
You
kidding.
be my dad.
No, your mom's a hot topic. I'm sure she
Yeah.
could have, but no, I guess if she hadn't taken the risk, and it was a big risk
Yeah,
to take
sure,
that trip.
absolutely.
I mean, some of us won't take the risk to ask someone to coffee, and your mom was like, let's go to Poland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now she's got a whole new tribe in addition to
Yes.
some of her other ones. That
Absolutely.
was really brave, but she had to risk it.
Yes.
Because she wanted to do that. And now she has a whole new group of people based on like interests, and it was pretty cool. You got to do
Yeah.
that.
So
sometime.
I think to your point, you can pretty much use anything to form tribe. You can use,
Yeah.
it can be
Book club.
the Quilters Club. It can be,
Do you like to quilt?
I do not. But, there are hobbies,
Yeah.
the woodworkers and people who just
Sure.
are fastidious about their lawn care.
That's right.
Whatever
Soccer
it is.
moms,
Yeah.
football dads, whatever.
We happen to have a couple of really great.
Do they have an old grumpy guy that
Yeah, oh, yeah, they
is
do.
like
Yeah.
grumps out about how
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
lawn isn't as nice as his, because you could be the president of that one?
they have old grumpy guy tribes for sure.
Oh, yeah,
and I mean, we have a couple of great coffee shops in town, and because of all the meetings we have to have and stuff like that, we end up at all of them throughout the week.
We're regulars.
And but you will see tribes meeting there.
Yeah.
You will see people, because they're reoccurring gatherings.
Yes.
There is a collection of women at this coffee shop about a block away from us.
They're so cute. They meet every Tuesday morning.
And a lot of times they're
Without
outside,
fail.
still outside, but they're outside blanketed.
Yeah.
So here they are sitting on this lawn furniture out in front of the coffee shop, drinking their coffee, but with blankets over them or big coats and all that stuff.
Yes.
And then there's a kind of a corresponding old guys group that is at a table away from them, but at the same time it's like 3 or 4 guys, and they have a common language and they have common experiences and all that kind of stuff. And I don't even know, I couldn't even tell you how that group got together initially or how they even know each other. My understanding is like one guy knew one guy and the other guy knew another guy, and so they all brought somebody into this thing.
But they, the sweet thing about it is that there's that sense of belonging.
Yes.
I mean, they belong together.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've always enjoyed doing is when we have, different tribes, wherever they are, I will see people that I know need belonging, and I'll say, hey, do you want to come be in our tribe?
Yeah.
Come on over. And then we sort of collect them and put them. In fact, that's one of the things I love most about life.
Yeah.
But most people, you're not going to be able to wait for somebody to invite you most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm unusually friendly.
Yes.
Because I know the value of it.
I wanted to say that, of course, we have our Dreamers Tribe, and we were talking about some of this at our last Dreamers Live event, and there was a guy there that I know, and he has been through a lot. I mean, legitimately been through a lot, and has a lot of pain from those experiences, and so in that tribal meeting, I was hanging out with him, and we were talking afterwards, and I just expressed to him that I recognize his pain, and I see that pain, and I know that pain is real, and I appreciate his efforts to deal with that and try and get some resolution and some healing on that.
Yeah.
But most of all, I just wanted him to know that he was seen and that was real. And man, just being able to communicate and fumble through that little exchange with him.
Yeah.
His whole face changed. His whole countenance changed. Like this whole thing just washed over him. And instead of just listening in a conversation, he and I were talking to each other and not over each other, not past each other.
Yeah.
But there was a connection in there. And that is the part of tribe that we all need.
Yes.
And I also love it because I think tribe helps us take the things we have in common and elevate those over the things that we have that are not in common.
Absolutely.
That helps us to elevate the things that we have and that we share over the things that might divide us.
Yeah.
And that's the value of tribe.
Yeah.
And it's important that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a similar conversation that night with somebody who had been widowed, actually not recently, but you could tell they still were very much suffering from that, and that they have to be drawn out really to be with people.
Yeah.
And it was a neat person. We had a great time, and I was just saying, she said, what is it that makes you guys want to help people do this? Like, what is your motivation?
Yeah.
And that was a funny question, and she really wanted to know. And I was like, well, I was like, some people are good at accounting or, brain surgery. And I said, I think we're kind of wired to help people do that. And we know that we need that. Yeah. And so I encouraged her. I said, you need that too. Yeah. You need to go find it. She's a very elegant, a little bit withdrawn person, very kind, that said, you need those people.
Right.
So you need to go find them.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay. And it was good, but it was just that connection. To me, tribe is what helps people feel safe and helps us feel like we belong. And it's also sharing each other's joys. That's the stuff that makes life worth living.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we happen to be, really fortunate in the sense that on our little block, our little neighborhood.
Yes, our neighbor tribe.
We have a neighbor tribe that's,
Yeah.
It's 3 or 4 families that have kids in the same basic age range and all that kind of stuff. And so we have a lot of shared experience to that. And we also have this concern for the neighborhood and for the city that we are all a part of. And so, I know that not everybody has that same neighbor relationship, but you can create tribe out of just about anything.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you don't have that, you can make it. You can find it, and it won't be perfect. And you might stumble through some stuff. You might have coffee with somebody and think, "Oh, this is not. I wouldn't want to continue this." But at least you know,
did not go well.
and you will find some stuff, and there's a chance that you are part of tribe and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
That there's this reoccurring thing that you like being around these people and you had shared humor and jokes and carry shared burdens and all that kind of stuff.
You're likely important to them.
But recognizing the value of it, that's kind of what we do at Dreamers. It's, a lot of what we do at Dreamers and even in the podcast, it's not that what we're communicating is so revolutionary or rocket science. It's really drawing your attention to something that's always been here.
Yeah.
Tribe has always been here, but once you recognize the value of it, you prioritize around it.
Yeah.
You support it.
Yeah.
You make extra efforts to keep it going and keep it healthy, and then you're also aware of it so that when it begins to bud in another area, you can feed and nurture it and all that stuff, because we need tribe. I need tribe. Tribe needs us, and that's the value of it. And the country and the world, really, but the country desperately needs us to elevate the things that we have in common over the things that we don't have in common.
That's right.
So
It's good.
we want to thank you for being part of our tribe.
Oh, nice. The podcast
Thank
tribe.
you.
I like it. It's kind of cool, though. There actually is one. We had, did you say there were like people in 6 different
We are
countries or
in
something?
6 different countries, incling the Denmark. And
Denmark. Ooh, that's
we're
pretty
in
cool.
like 60 different cities. We've had some 500 some odd downloads in
Nice.
the couple episodes that we've done. So yes, this is, and you can help us in Tribe by sharing this. So go to that link if you haven't already. Copy the link. I know you. I trusted you to do it.
No.
I'm really just saying this for Anjanette's sake.
Of course.
So share this link to people that you think might appreciate this, and even if you have to share it to make fun of us, this is the stupidest thing.
Oh, yeah. Hey, watch My Stupid Friends.
That's
good.
Friends. Listen to My Stupid Friends.
I like
But
that.
anyway, we love you. We love being in Tribe with you, and we want to keep doing that. We'll be back really soon. If you are in the Ville area, I will tell you that we're doing a Dreamers Live on December 19th.
That's right.
It will have live Christmas music.
Live Christmas music, cocktail party
And
beforehand.
this is a very special Dreamers for us. This will be our 3rd annual Dreamers Storyteller Edition, and it will be a Christmas version.
Christmas Tales. Yes.
So make plans to join us for that. It'll be at Crossing 2nd, December 19th. It'll start early with crooning from the one and only Anjanette.
Oh, gosh.
And that will be at 4:30, and we'll do music and all that, music and sound and magic, and then we will go into the Storytellers event, and so you'll love it.
Yes.
So come be with us. Even if you're out of town, you can make plans now to join us for that.
Come on in. And go find your people.
And between now and then, we love you. I don't mind telling you that we do, and we appreciate you being a part of our tribe, and we'll talk soon. Peace out.